Hey, good morning, Zane. This is another quick demo video for you for your Desert Wanderer. This was by KR Sabers. I had gone over this a little bit on my live stream last night, but I wanted to do this one more time and just dedicate a video to it and then also throw a blade in so that you could see that it worked. All right. Install the Goth Master chassis. So again, to get to the chassis, you just want to unscrew the pommel. Don't unscrew the booster section. That's not necessary. All right, so we'll just unscrew the pommel here. Make sure I don't drop it. Pull that out and you'll see your chassis here. When pulling this chassis out or putting it back into the Saber, you want to be very careful with these switches right here because it can shave the tactile switches off of your chassis if you're not careful. So just use a lot of care. It's something that's happened to a lot of people. It happened to me this time while I was testing it. I had to go back and put one more tactile on this PCB here. I soldered it up. Right there, I replaced that one, and it's good to go now. You sent this chassis to me already weathered, and I just installed it for you. So try to give you a close-up of this guy. All right, you got a kill switch right here. This is your battery board, so if you flipped this up, it's on magnets. You could flip this up to get to your battery. This is the battery you sent with the battery wrap, so I'm leaving that in there. Slap that down. The crystal chamber has its own door. It is also on magnets, so you can open that guy up and you can see inside of there. Now, I did put that real quartz crystal in there for you. You got a rotating plasma gate that I'll show you here in a second. You can close that just like that. An OLED screen. Now, this chassis had a place right here for a tactile switch. I went ahead and I put it in. I usually don't on this particular one because your tactiles are right here, right? So there's no need to have one right here to operate the chassis like on some of Goth's, on some of his designs. But I was in the mode of installing this. I had some music going. I got to this area right here. I wasn't even thinking about it. I saw a place for a tactile and I went ahead and I put it there anyway. So that is a power switch, although your power switch is also right here with your auxiliary switch. So you'll probably never use that piece right here, but at least it's there. All right. You got this guy right here, your Proffie board right here. Now you can also open this up. It's on magnets, or one magnet rather, but you flip that open. You got your Proffie board right here, easy access to your SD card and your micro USB, and then I did put a 3-pixel accent strip here. I originally tried to use the third strip that came with the chassis. That wasn't working out very well. I had these small guys here and they light up just fine. So we got those there so that you get plenty of shine through these vents. All right, so let me turn this off real quick. We'll come over here and flip the kill switch.
Your destiny lies along a different path from mine.
You can see your accent LEDs over here, and of course here over here on the board. I've got your crystal chamber pulsing, and then we'll come over here and we'll turn it on. Lots of blinkies going on. Looks really cool. You can open this guy up and see that your plasma gate is spinning only when the Saber's on. Let me find the door. It can be tricky in the dark. There we go. But you can see that spinning there. Everything looks really cool. Crystal shines nice and bright. And then you got twist off. All right. So now when we put the chassis back into the Saber, again, be very careful. All right, take your time. If you feel any resistance at all, back up, try it again. You don't want to shave that tactile off, but you'll get to right here, and that means the chassis is fully inserted. You can feel it bouncing on the pogo pins if you've made it all the way. All right, and then come over here and put your pommel on. We'll screw that all the way on. On this setup, this guy right here is your power This over here is your auxiliary. So we can hit power. Your second set is lighting up. The saber sounds really good. Good flash on flash. Auxiliary over here. And then twist off. Okay, now when we want to put a blade in, we have to take this emitter off. So we'll come over here and take this off. This is your display emitter. Take that off. When you do, your blade plug fall right out into your hand. All right, and then you'll see your second set of Neopixel connectors in there. And we can take this other emitter that has the extension on it for the blade, and we can simply screw it on. All right, so we'll screw that on. This emitter has 3 different blade retention screws located all around. I'm only going to use one for this demo. This is set up for a full-length blade, but I'm going to use my TriStar test blade. It's just easier for me to maneuver this guy around. Plus, it looks really cool. All right, so we'll lock it down. Come over here and hit power. Everything's looking good, right? Flash on flash. We'll go to another sound font.
Obiwan Kenobi.
So, this Proffie board looked like it came from KR Sabers. It had some Obi-Wan fonts on it, and then it had a stock font package. I only took the Obi-Wan fonts. I made my own config. Although there are configs on the SD card, I named yours Zane_config if you ever want to see what I did there. Okay, I wired mine up a little bit differently than what the config on the SD card was. So rather than try to follow that, it's easier for me just to make my own config based on my wiring. You have, how many blade styles you have? 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 4 blade styles. The first is going to be your blade. The second will be the motor for the rotating plasma gate. The third blade style will be your actual crystal. And then the fourth and final blade style will involve the 2 10-pixel accent strips and the accent strip that's on the board. Those are wired in parallel. All right, so that's what you've got there. So again,
It's just bad these days.
blade lockups, holding down aux and hitting the saber. And so you'll see that on a full-length blade.
Ben Kenobi?
And then all of your sound fonts have a soundtrack, and that is a long press on the power when the saber's off. And another long press to turn it off. Just like that. All right, so we'll go ahead, take the blade out of this guy, and go over turning it off. I just got to find which blade retention I use. There it is. So we'll go ahead and take this off for now. I'll put the static one back on. Before I put that on though, let me make sure to show you that these light up. Right. So those are good to go. Blade plug first, then your static emitter. I cannot butterfinger this thing to death. It is early in the morning here. There we go. Again, come over here and just unscrew the pommel. Now you can take this out if you want to, but you don't have to because your kill switch is accessible just by taking the pommel off. All right. Unless, of course, the pommel wants to take the chassis out with it. But we'll turn this on. And then we'll come over here and flip our switch. And it kills everything just like it should. All right. And that is basically your Desert Wanderer with Goth Master Chassis. Let me know if you have any questions, and it's my intention to get this out in the mail to you today. Thanks.